Well, let's cross to Brussels and speak to our correspondent, Dave Keating. Hello to you, Dave. What are the implications of France's withdrawal from Mali on today's meeting?
Well, Mali isn't officially on the agenda today, but of course it's going to be discussed because this is a pretty major development when it comes to European and African relations. So we've had this press conference this morning. People are still digesting the news, but of course that press conference had multiple audiences. On one hand, it was of course for the ruling junta in Mali. It was for other African countries, and it was for other EU countries because of course it is both the French mission and the EU Takuba mission, which will be wound down here. And the question is whether those other EU countries are still going to maintain their commitment to Sahel missions in general. European Council President Charles Michel at that press conference this morning was really keen to stress that the EU countries, this EU mission was only leaving Mali, not the Sahel. They were going to move to neighboring regions. But that's not his decision to make. That's a decision for national capitals in the EU. And there's a lot of wavering now because this experience hasn't been a great one. We saw last month Denmark pulled out of Mali before everyone else when the ruling junta asked them to. And so that's probably going to be discussed between EU countries on the sidelines of this summit, just how firm that commitment to these Sahel missions is.
And Dave, the summit about to begin in about an hour's time. What's on the official agenda?
Well, this is, again, there's some security elements to this summit, but the main focus of the summit is supposed to be about partnerships for innovation, for agriculture, for climate, for health. This is supposed to be building on existing partnerships and starting new ones. There is 150 billion euros on the table here that Europe is supposed to be sending toward Africa, but they want guarantees about governance and transparency. Another thorny issue that they hopefully will get settled today is the issue of vaccines. African countries are very upset that the IP rights on these vaccines have still been restricted, so they can't develop them themselves, and that the European countries have not been forthcoming in what they promised in terms of deliveries of vaccines. Now, it's unlikely we'll see the EU change its position on vaccine patents today at this summit, but they may come out with some other pledges to invest money to build vaccine manufacturing facilities in Africa. So the big focus here is on those partnerships and also how the EU and Europe can offer an attractive alternative to Africa when Africa has many choices now for partners. They could partner with China, with Russia. The EU wants to show its unique value.
And Dave, before the summit began, though, the 27 EU leaders met to speak about Ukraine. Tell us more.
Yeah, this was an emergency summit called at the last minute. The 27 EU leaders are discussing amongst themselves Ukraine before they meet with their African counterparts. The main thing that's going to be discussed here, or not really discussed, presented, is the European Commission is going to present a sanctions package. Nothing will be voted on, nothing will be agreed, but they just want to make sure everyone's on the same page about what sanctions will spring into action if Russia does indeed invade Ukraine. This, of course, is an ongoing issue that would have been hard to ignore at this summit, but it's still not meant to be a discussion. They're trying to keep this short. They're discussing it right now as we speak, but they want to end on time so that they can start this summit with their African counterparts.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Dave Keating reporting from Brussels.